Good morning, class, ladies and gentlemen of Pikes Peak Community College. Is life better today than it was yesterday? Imagine life 100 years ago. Cocaine had been legal for a year, while marijuana was still legal in all states. The population in Las Vegas in 1900 was 22. Canned beer supermarkets and Barbie dolls had not been invented. Fast forward to 2017. Now you can have beer delivered to your door in minutes. The average lifespan of a man was 48, and the average lifespan for a woman was 52. I'm talking about life today and life 150 years ago. While some may argue about those good old days, depending on who you ask, some may disagree. Yes, families were closer, and the divorce rate was less higher than it is today. But once again, I argue on how life is much better today compared to 150 years ago. Let's take a look at the life of the Native Americans around that time frame. Faced with disease, alcoholism, and despair on reservations, American Indians found life most difficult. Beginning in the first half of the 19th century, Native Americans were confined to a fixed land plots to continue their traditional ways of life. Now this may sound good, but many nomadic tribes lost their way of life by being forced from their traditional lifestyle, by being constricted and confined from their traditional land and way of living. Native farmers were left with land unsuitable for farming. Many did not know how to build complex irrigation systems to farmland. Life for black Americans was no better 150 years ago. Many blacks had moved to the north and west in order to find a better way of life. Living conditions was poor in the southeast, but many blacks soon realized that life was little better up north. Jobs was often hard to find, housing was poor, and whites were often brutal acting towards them. The Ku Klux Klan was very popular 100 years ago, and many whites had joined the Klan. They were responsible for burning crosses in black people's yards to intimidate them, and hangings were a common thing. Also, they disliked Catholics, Jews, and other foreigners, but they hated black Americans the most. For many Americans, 5 to 19, only half were enrolled in school and found education stopped at 8th grade. In 1940, just 75 years ago, when the census was collected on information on plumbing, American plumbing in homes, only half percent had water, a tub, a shower, and a flush toilet. Think about life better now than it was in the past. Technology has come a long way. We have smartphones, computers, and cars that help us with our everyday life. Travel is not just for the wealthy anymore. Babies are being born healthy, and healthcare has grown to new levels. I feel that technology has brought us closer as a planet. It has taught us to live together no matter what the differences we have in culture or physical appearance we may have. When blogs and the internet came along, it gave everyone a voice. You no longer have to be a politician, an actor, or a musician to have your voice heard. With the internet, anyone can give their opinion. Although some may disagree, but in the same sense, freedom of speech is what makes America great. It makes America a great place. People are living longer. Hunger is no longer a big issue. Education is more achievable. Women and minorities have equal rights now. As you may know, just a few months ago, Hillary Clinton was running for president. and she's one of the top candidates. So that's a big part of the growth of America from now until then. Now, I'm not saying this is a perfect world that we live in, but we have means to take this world to a much better place than it was yesterday. Although we have come a long way as a people, human beings, and a nation, it is still more to do. Take advantage of these things that you take for granted and continue to make history. That is the end of my speech. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening.